Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this sun of York. And all the clouds that lowered
Wait a
upon
second.
our house.
What's the point of all of this? Isn't Shakespeare just too hard, too old-fashioned, and too boring to study in school? Who exactly is this Shakespeare guy, and why do we have to study his plays at all? William Shakespeare was born in 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon in England. He was a semi-successful actor with his own group of performers called Lord Chamberlain's Men. When King James I took over the throne of England, he liked Shakespeare's work so much he commissioned the playwright to work for him. Thus, Lord Chamberlain's Men became the King's Men. Shakespeare's work garnered mixed reviews by his contemporaries. It was respected by those who saw it performed, but Shakespeare had to live in the shadow of better educated and less crude writers, such as Ben Jonson, Christopher Marlowe, and Thomas Nash. Much of their work was considered superior to Shakespeare's, and good old Billy S. was crushed under their collective weight. In 1616, Shakespeare died, and no one really noticed. Sure, there were some memorials built to honor him, but most of his works just got brushed aside, and for over a century, Shakespeare lay forgotten. But in the late 18th century, a group of artists in what is known as the Romantic period rediscovered the playwright's work, and they found it to be
brilliant! Brilliant!
This resurrection has led to Shakespeare being the most celebrated and most studied writer in the English language. So what did these romantics find in Shakespeare which makes him so important to study? These discoveries apply as much now as they did over 200 years ago, when Shakespeare became his own topic of study. First, the themes in Shakespeare's plays are universal. His extensive discussion of heroism, government and war, friendship and love, sexuality and gender, and humankind's interrelationships has spanned centuries and can still be applied today when discussing any number of issues in contemporary society. Second, Shakespeare has had more of an influence on the English language than just about any person in history. When is the last time you used words like eyeball, puking, alligator, bedroom, drugged? All of these words were first used in one of Shakespeare's plays. So next time you have to use an excuse like, "I don't know what happened, officer. I drugged the alligator in my bedroom, and now he's puking his eyeballs out," you'll have William Shakespeare to thank for that. Third, Shakespeare was a funny guy. Once you wade through all the fancy language and big words, you can begin to discover a ton of hidden jokes about various inappropriate topics and bodily functions. At no other point in your school career can you get away with referring to sex as the beast with two backs, or to syphilis as bone ache. Fourth, and probably most important, Shakespeare is hard to read. In order to get his rich literary devices, compelling drama, and characterization, his enduring wit and wisdom, and his often quoted lines, you first have to wade through the twists and turns of his language. But once you learn how to decode Shakespeare, you'll be able to read and understand so many other things. You can use this skill for the rest of your life, anytime you're required to sift through dense material. Most of all, though, Shakespeare can be cool. His influence can be seen everywhere. Popular books, movies, music, and even video games have been inspired by his plays. One would be hard-pressed to find another singular author with as great of an influence on modern society than William Shakespeare. And all of this from a guy who died 400 years ago. All of this can explain why it's important for us to study Shakespeare in school. And yes, all of this will be on the test.